Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the upper tier. This would normally be Thursday tier talk, but we're in the depths of the World Cup at the moment, so it's not Thursday tier talk. So we said we'd jump on and do kind of one of these special shows that we tend to come up with. Joining me tonight, as always, my resident referee himself and cuz to me, Mark. How are we?
How is it going, folks? Do not adjust your screens. I am not Dazzler. This is different for me to be on here on a Wednesday night or Thursday night here talk. So, but unfortunately, I'm in retail, and tomorrow is all the Black Friday sales have begun at the start of the week. So tomorrow's going to be a long one.
Absolutely. And I, of course, made the mistake because it's not even Thursday, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, yeah.
So that'll tell you how much football I've been watching and covering
Yeah.
at the moment. I've been dropping predictions during drive times. I've been doing shows in cars. I've been squeezing it all in. Del Boy in the comments, big up, Niall. Big up, boy. Good to hear from you, man. Go check out Del Boy's channel. Absolutely quality. Absolutely bananas. Great fun. But yeah, tonight we said we'd do a kind of a special show. Yeah, absolutely. We said we'd touch on some of the news topics that have come up over the last few days. Certainly there's been no end of news and not necessarily World Cup related either. So we go through some of that stuff first, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go through two combined 11s. So we said we'd do one first of all related to injured players who didn't make it, and then we would do a second one for players who didn't qualify or weren't picked. So that should be a bit of fun. And I have to say, doing it, I came up with two belter of teams that could easily win the World Cup. I can tell you that much.
Some names
it's
that are there,
scary, isn't it? Scary, the players that didn't make it. But let's get into the news. Let's start. Ronaldo and Man United have parted company by mutual agreement, whatever that means. Thoughts?
Yeah, the writing was on the wall, wasn't it? Because I think, even Stevie Wonder could see the situation that was unfolding, It's been a long time coming. Obviously, since Ten Hag has come in, Ronaldo hasn't really been in his plans, has he? In terms of the style of football that Ten Hag wants to play. And, in Ronaldo's head, I think he still thinks he's the player he was 10 years ago, but physically, he can't, his legs are gone. Let's face it, And like I've seen the interview and stuff like that. You can't argue with some of the stuff that he's been saying. Let's say that, because obviously there is improvements that needs to be made from the Aon complex to Old Trafford. The Aon complex opened 22 years ago, and they haven't really updated it, since. Old Trafford got a lick of paint on the outside during the summer there, but there's a lot of more things that have to be done to improve. When you look at teams like yourselves, you have improved your stadium. You've built on. You look at the other side of Merseyside. Everton are building this fantastic stadium down at the docks. You've got Tottenham Hotspur, one of the best stadiums in the world at the moment, and they have one of the best training facilities as well. So over the years we've been kind of going down the pecking order in that regard. But for Ronaldo as a player, he's just too. Everything has to be about himself. You've seen it yourself, because when he wasn't put on the pitch and walking down the tunnel, he's not setting a good example for the players around him. I mentioned it on one of the Monday mashups before he came that I was, listen, for nostalgia reasons, it was great, the buzz around and all. But then you look at it, and I said it on the mashup, he's taking minutes away from a younger player coming through the ranks. And hopefully now he's gone. We might see the likes of Garnacho getting more starts and stuff like that as well. But listen, we're saving ourselves 17 million in this contract by letting him go, and hopefully we would have been looking for a striker in July, but hopefully that has just sped it up. That now in January we're going to look and hopefully get a striker.
Yeah, I think that'll be critical, wouldn't it? I suppose when I was looking at it and I heard the news, a couple of things jumped into my mind. It's how, at a time where United's under a lot of pressure, and we'll talk about it in the second point, obviously, but at a time where United's under pressure at the moment, they're not necessarily competing in the league as much as they would like to be in terms of a title race and stuff.
Yeah.
They're not competing at the top table of European football at the moment. And obviously that has an impact on commercial deals and the value of those commercial deals, which is vital to United's development, as we know, through the years. And then obviously you have a guy like this who walks through the door and goes, and like he's massive. His influence on social media, 500 million followers on Instagram and all. He's the most followed person on Instagram and stuff like that. And
He's
I'm
a brand,
sure,
isn't he?
yeah, and I'm sure he makes up a sizable portion of the commercial deal when you're sitting across the table from an Adidas or a Team Viewer or whatever it is, and you're saying, we can offer you Ronaldo. Look at Ronaldo's reach and stuff like that. So I could see why the Glazers wanted to hang on to him in the summer. And Ten Hag clearly wanted him to go. But the big concern for me now would be that if United come back after the World Cup and they're not performing or getting the results they want and they're not scoring goals, is the media in the UK now going to go in on Eric Ten Hag and go, well, this is your doing. You sent him out the door, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
No,
and that's the
I know
fear,
where you're
isn't
coming
it?
from,
Really?
but I don't necessarily see that happening. If I'm being honest with you, I know what you're saying about the value that's sitting across the table, but at the same time, there's something that you can't put money on, and that's team values. You have to respect what Ten Hag is trying to introduce. He's saying, I'm the manager here, I'm the main man, I'm going to try to turn this around, which we haven't had in previous years. Solskjaer was a stopgap. Let's be fair. He got the result against PSG that time in the Champions League. Rashford's late penalty, and United at the time decided to stick with him. Was it for a financial reason? Who knows? Obviously, you look at it, and Van Gaal, Mourinho, they all just this man wants to improve the club. He wants to bring the club on, and like I said, with Ronaldo there, it just wasn't going to happen. Like I said, he's 37 now. I know what you're saying about the sponsorship and all, but my God, if I'm wearing a United jersey in January, I'm playing for the manager, and it'd be like if we get a run of wins, it'd be like us sticking our fingers up at Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, no, I think the decision had to be made, and I think it was a good one, and I think United acted pretty swiftly as well in supporting Eric Ten Hag. As you said, a lot of what he said you kind of knew, and it was fairly obvious. It's when he started going in on the manager and stuff like that. That's when you're at the point of no return, really. And I suppose it's not a great place to be either when you're calling out your owners either who are paying you 550 bags a week. It's big bucks and stuff like that.
Like I said, we'll get on to the Glazers, but for me, you look down through the years, Ronaldo never really had any respect for any of the managers he played under, did he? Do you remember when he got injured for Portugal that time when he was standing on the sideline and he was basically trying to manage the team, him and Mourinho falling out and different things as well, and he just never seemed to have a good relationship with many of the managers he's played under, apart from Sir Alex.
Yeah. I wouldn't hold a top player falling out with Mourinho in any way, in fairness. There's plenty of history there. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. Warren's in the comments here. Warren, how are you? Hi, Noel, Del Boy, and I presume he meant to say Elvis there, Marky, for you.
Elvis.
Breaking news:
Ronaldo
has been spotted outside Anfield. He must be only driving by heading to the airport. Maybe that's where his jet was or something.
Could be getting a picture with the old Shankly statue.
Can you imagine if one of the rivals signed him? Can you imagine if Arsenal or Chelsea or Liverpool signed him for the 6 months or something like that? It'd be crazy.
Again, it'd be mad. I can't see Arsenal sign him. I think Arteta is under the same kind of brand as Ten Hag. He's trying to play that different style of football where Ronaldo won't fit into. Now Chelsea you look at Aubameyang, he's not really doing it for them, is he? And
no.
In all fairness, I was talking to a few of the lads in work about it. I was talking to Joe there last night, and I was saying the destination I could see is somewhere like the MLS, and you'll probably spend a season or two over there and come back and just spend 1 year over in Sporting Lisbon, and that be him done then.
What about the talk potentially going back to Real Madrid for the 6 months with the issues with Benzema now after getting injured as well? I don't know how bad it is, but the talk is they might be a little bit short, that Benzema mightn't even make the 2 Liverpool games. That's the talk.
So
that could potentially be a solution, could it, for them? A short-term 6-month job.
It would be. Listen, we've had it before. Remember, we brought Henrik Larsson and stuff in, and you could see him, because let's face it, the pace of the La Liga and the style has changed since he was there before. It isn't what it used to be a few years ago. So maybe it might suit him. But I just felt my gut feeling when I read about it. And even listen, like I said, you could see this coming weeks in advance. And I just felt in my gut that he was going to go to the MLS. And because imagine his brand over in America, because it would explode for 2 years. Then he come back to Portugal for a year and hang up the boots and possibly get into coaching.
What did you make of the Saudi offer? Apparently 350 million. That's massive, isn't it?
I take it myself. Myself.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. He could get it and then go to Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't know whether the money sounds great and all. I just don't know whether the location would be good enough for him.
No,
I don't know whether he'd have that exposure that he craves and desires.
Yeah.
But certainly a massive offer.
America definitely be the destination that you want to go to.
Yeah. So then, when United fans thought that the news couldn't get any better, then the news comes out that, like ourselves, we're searching for potentially new owners or high-level investors. I'm sure, like ourselves, your preference would be new owners, not high-level investors.
No, new owners, that has to be.
What's your thoughts on this?
Again, it's one of these things. The announcement comes on the same day as Ronaldo leaving, so you'd wonder how much is behind that, whether the Glazers wanted to take the shine off the news of Ronaldo's exit. But listen, as a United fan, it's positive news. There was obviously talk of Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in last summer and buying it, and he was told the club wasn't for sale. Hopefully, you'd like to think that he'll come in again. He's born in Manchester. He's a Manchester United fan. He's one of the richest men in England. So, looking at it, and I know his passion for United, he wants to bring the identity of Manchester United back, so that can only be a positive thing. Now, listen, the Glazers weren't all bad. They invested in the team, so you have to hold your hands up and say that, you know what I mean? There is other things that were lacking, like I said, the facilities and stuff like that. But as a United fan, obviously United fans had the chance to buy shares in the club back in the day, and it never happened. You'd like to have some sort of kind of percentage of fan shares there, that they'd have their say, and the people in the suits would listen. But I'm hoping that Sir Jim will put a bid in, and like I said, they haven't been all bad. I know they get a bad rap, and I've hated them in the past, and it seems to be American owners, but they have done some good stuff for Manchester United, so I have to hold my hands up and give them that as well.
Yeah, I suppose the difficulty when I looked at it today, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the difficulty, they're talking about a valuation somewhere in the region of 7 billion. Yeah. Now, the question is that 7 billion similar to, if you look at Chelsea, the valuation was 2.5 billion. And then there was 2 billion committed to development of the ground and the training and all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to know really view where that 7 billion is. Are we talking 7 billion plus?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead there, because you just broke up there. Yeah, I can hear you now. It was just breaking up when you were. Is it my end or your end?
Yeah. No, I was. No, I've no idea these days with Wi-Fi the way it goes, to be honest. But when you're looking at the valuation of 7 billion that I brought up, I'm wondering, does that include writing off the 600 million debt? Does it include the money that's required to bring the stadium up to where you want it to be? Does it include the money that would need to build? From the sounds of things, you need a whole new training facility like what we did. And I'm wondering, is that included? Plus, you're on a sort of a rebuild pad at the moment, and it's fair to say you probably need to spend another 400 or 500 million to be back up there challenging, I'd say, in terms of squad. So I wonder, is that valuation of 7 billion, how does that break down and stuff like that? And if that was addition to that, that's a huge valuation for the club, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, you'd like to think the 7 billion includes, all of the above, but you just wouldn't know nowadays. Either way, all I know is it's going to be the biggest sale in probably world sports has ever seen, and like I said, I'm just hoping that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and I was reading on a few of the forums, there's talk of Saudi money coming in and this, that, and the other, but hopefully over the next few days we'll start to understand and find out more details of what's happening, because it only emerged, like I said, within an hour or two of the Ronaldo situation coming out as well. So hopefully we'll get to hear everything, and and then hopefully we'll be shortlisted shot the Glazers.
Yeah, it's probably going to take a bit of time, similar to ourselves, but it's an interesting trend, isn't it? This mass exodus at the moment from two of the biggest clubs in the game, you could say, both up for sale at the same time. It's crazy, isn't it? When you think.
Well, I was saying it to my dad. Obviously, this isn't a knee jerk reaction. The Glazers have been thinking about this for a long time, And I said it to him. Maybe the offer last summer got them thinking a little bit and said, right, let's see how the next few months go, and we'll think about it. And obviously, with the World Cup break now, they've time to think about it. And a sale like that, it doesn't happen overnight. Like, as you know, goes on. Myself and Yvonne are buying a house at the moment, and that's taking forever with legal stuff and back and forth. So this could go on for a good few months to come as well.
Yeah, you're talking massive money as well. Another bit of news that came. Yeah, another bit of news that came in that wouldn't have pleased either of us, I would imagine. But Pep Guardiola signed a 2-year extension to his contract, keeping him there till 2025. I feel that's terrible news for both teams.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah,
but then do you think you obviously know he just wants to stay there to win the Champions League, doesn't he? He wants to bring the Champions League to Man City. And possibly when he does that, he might just walk away, go on another sabbatical like he did after Barcelona, But it's a scary thought, isn't it? He's built a dynasty for like, I know we always used to slag City about their history and stuff, but every season he's creating new history for the club, and it's a scary thought with the money that's behind him as well. And what has he spent on defenders? It's some like billions on defenders so far, like He's just given a blank checkbook at the start of the season. He's gone out and bought a robot goal machine in Haaland, and you'd wonder how far they could get. But like I said, like, the Champions League is the pinnacle for him, and until he wins it, I can't see him leaving City.
Players to him are like hanging shirts in his wardrobe, aren't they? If the style doesn't fit at the time, you just change it out for the latest, greatest fashion trend,
Like Dazzler with his WWE figures,
Yeah, absolutely. Warren's back in the comments again. Again, folks, I'd say check out Warren's channel. Fantastic, especially on a Saturday afternoon. It's like Gillette Soccer Lab or Soccer Saturday or something like that. It's great cracking. The banter's mighty. I wish it was us getting new owners. Jeez, Warren, I don't know. You're doing all right. You're doing all right at the moment, top of the league and stuff like that. Be careful what you wish for. You know what I mean?
Gunner as well, yeah.
Yeah, Warren's a gunner through and through. Yeah, absolutely. He says Mikel will take over at City when Pep does leave. Interesting. That would be interesting to see then who gets the Arsenal job. Yeah, that'd be interesting. If that was the hot.
Well, Warren, I've been to the Emirates Stadium. It's a great stadium, in fairness. Very close to Highbury. And my dad played centre half with Dave O'Leary schoolboy football, so a little bit more Arsenal history there for you.
There you go, Warren. What more would you want on a I should say a Wednesday evening, not Thursday. So Thursday. Tell us this without touching on this in terms of comment. Mason Greenwood the other day, the trial is set for a year away.
I thought that was strange.
It's very strange, isn't it? This is just dragging on, isn't it now? And this is not me talking about him or talking about the victim or what's going on around like that. But it seems very strange that a case like this would take. It seems like it's been going on forever, doesn't it?
I think by the time next year, it'd be 2.5 years or something like that since the news broke and he was first arrested. But it just seems an awful long time away. And I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying from Mason's point of view, his mental health must be hanging by a thread at the moment, and to wait a year for the trial then is madness.
And then, of course, depending on what comes out of it and stuff like that, 2.5 years of his career has gone down the river. Now, that might be the case where if he's found guilty or something like that, but if he was found innocent or whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's a tough one to swallow. But I just found when they said the cut, I thought they were going to say it was set for like January or something.
Yeah, when
like
I seen 2023, I was like,
yeah, and they don't mean January or February. They mean a year, like not next year.
November 2023.
It was a strange one. Tell us this. A lot of palaver the other day at the Qatar World Cup about how players were going to wear the One Love armband, and this is what we were going to do, support our fellow brothers and sisters and all this. And then they all stood down and no one wore it. What was your thinking on this?
I genuinely wanted to see it happen. Qatar are playing FIFA like a fiddle. The FIFA are laying down they're getting through to the players then, and it's the players that make a World Cup. It's not the host country. You could have a World Cup anywhere. If the players decide to walk out this World Cup, there'll be no football played. So listen, I know Harry Kane get the armband to Alex Scott which if he couldn't wear it, it was a nice touch for her to get on the BBC wearing and stuff like that. And there was talk of the yellow cards, and maybe a possible one-match game and stuff, which is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, because Qatar have they've gone about this World Cup all the wrong ways. We knew this. Listen, we've known this for the last few years. Then even the alcohol ban, pulling it 2 or 3 days before the World Cup started, knowing if they had had that ban in place, a lot of fans were going to travel over there. That sort of way. They waited till everything was booked in. They were ready to go on a plane, and then all of a sudden, now we're pulling all the alcohol from the fan zones and stuff, which is an absolute joke. And then, like I said, we'll probably get on to the German thing, and even Denmark with their own protests as well. They've every right to, with the human rights record over there and what's going on with all the workers in the stadiums and stuff like that. It's an absolute disgrace.
What have you made of it so far? Because us as Irish fans and stuff like that, we love a party, and we love when a World Cup or the Euros rolls around. We get fully immersed in it, even if our own team isn't even in it. We'll pick someone and we'll go with it. But this one has kind of, because of the undertone of it, and we'll talk later on about Gianni Infantino as well, and his speech the other day as well, which I thought was just crazy. Who was advising that man that was the thing to do? That was so degrading. I thought it was just so out of kilter. It was ridiculous. But
and it went on for an hour.
Yeah, what have you made of this so far? It's very hard to find a balance between the excitement of the football and getting up for the football and everything that's gone on and going on in the background. It's kind of, you get the feeling with this World Cup, they thought they were going to deliver a huge spectacle, and in some respects they are. But everything is downtrodden about what we know about the migrant workers, about their stance on all these different things and stuff like that. So I just think it's a weird one as well. I've kind of sat down and watched the football, but I found it hard to let myself go fully, to immerse myself in it and enjoy it.
But it's like the fans of the stadiums as well, because there's no atmosphere in any of the stadiums. It's just kind of everyone just standing there watching it. I was watching the Wales game the other night. It's only when the Wales scored, they create a bit of an atmosphere. You're seeing it there with the French game the other night. There was no atmosphere. It was like being at a funeral. I know you mentioned, but
it's mad as well. It's mad as well, isn't it, when you think about all the different channels covering it as well. Every studio you go to, doesn't matter whether it's been RTE or BBC or ITV, the commentary before every game and the build-up to every game has been, it shouldn't be here.
No.
These are the issues. These are the things that we're focusing on and stuff like that. And then you kind of go into the game, and while you're watching the game, you're thinking about the treatment of the migrant workers, their treatment of gay rights and people like that and all that kind of stuff and all. It's crazy, it's very, very difficult. This one's a very difficult one.
It's tough, and at the same time, you'd like to think that what could have happened was the football federations from around the world would meet up with FIFA a few years ago and say, listen, we're all going to boycott it. It doesn't matter what money you're getting, we're all going to boycott it. Because like I said, without the players, without the staff, the coaching staff, there's no World Cup. And to see the amount of people that have passed away, and I was watching, there's a lad on YouTube, Simon Wilson, he's a vlogger. He went to see the stadiums, and to think 2 months ago some of the stadiums weren't even finished. And I'm not talking about inside, I'm talking about around outside and stuff like that. He went to visit, he done a challenge, he went to visit all the stadiums in one day. The state of some of the outside about 2 months ago, it's ridiculous.
Proper building sites.
100%, and these lads working 14, 20 hour days on a building site in that heat, and you're looking at it going, how is that right?
And then their accommodation was these 20-foot lorry containers.
Did you see them?
The
containers,
it's shocking.
They're more space in Mount Joy than there is in some of those containers.
Now I do have to say, the way they built the stadium out of the containers so they can take it apart when it's done, that looks really cool. I have to give them that. But Warren's back in the comments. In my opinion, they should pull out of the tournament and hold an alternative World Cup. I have not watched a minute of it. I think it's disgusting. Yeah, it's
right, Warren.
It's such a tough one, Warren, isn't it? David O'Leary, top quality centre back. He used to organise the whole Arsenal back four week in, week out in the late 70s and early 80s. Yeah, absolutely, Warren. Quality player.
Brilliant.
Player.
Look at we dad played with Shelburne schoolboys down in Range so he went to Arsenal and my dad went to the OGB and the rest is history.
There you go, absolutely. The German team today, team photograph covering the mouths, sending a message to FIFA. The football will always find a way, the way it evolves, won't it? They'll always
100%
find a way.
Fair play to them. And they're not going to get punished or read by FIFA there. They're not getting punished as well. So it just shows you know, they can get around the armband thing with little things like that. And I think isn't that why Denmark's away jersey is full black, isn't it? Respect to the migrant workers that have passed away and stuff like that. They're doing a little thing like that. So
and I believe Rowan's in the comment. Rowan, well lads, how's it going? Going good, man. Hope you keep them well. Enjoying the show.
Rowan, I hope you weren't too busy in work today, man.
What did you make today, Neuer as well? He was wearing the armband under the other armband. Did you see that today? And the linesman was checking them out and stuff like that.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Absolutely.
And the size of him, you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to be saying to him, "Here, take that off." He's about bleeding at 7 foot tall, like, you know.
Yeah, bit of just to move on, a little bit of sad news we got today from Liverpool. The Doc David Johnson passed away today. Won 4 leagues with Liverpool, 3 European Cups, 2 League Cups, and 1 Super Cup. But a little known fact shares a known fact with Peter Beardsley, that he scored the winning derby goals in 2 derbies, one for Everton and one for Liverpool. But he passed away today, so R.I.P. the Doc David Johnson. And I've seen a lot of tributes coming in today from Aldo and Phil Thompson and all the boys and stuff like that. So yeah, it was nice to see. He's in, stopped working about 12 o'clock, didn't even get a lunch. You know yourself, Mark.
I never start working, never mind stop.
You sound convinced. We touched on Gianni's speech. I think when this started, just mouths were opening, weren't they? Going, where is this going? This is a man who wouldn't have a clue about what he spoke about.
And do you know what's mad? The president of FIFA trying to give moral advice to us. FIFA are corrupt to the absolute core, and they don't even try to hide it anymore. And he's trying to give us moral advice. Would you ever get the vote?
He was trying. It was like he was trying to distance himself from the issues related to Qatar, wasn't it? That it wasn't a FIFA thing; it was a Qatari thing. And then a couple of hours later, at the opening game, here he is sitting in the grandfather chair with the gold goblet right beside these sheiks, sharing all the stuff. Like You're there going, "Come on, mate! You're not convincing anyone. You're not convincing anyone."
I was sitting there, and every sentence he was saying, you were kind of just going back more like that in absolute shock, and I was looking at it going, what is he trying to achieve with this?
I was looking at it and I was going, someone needs to cut this mic quickly. This needs to stop, because the more he went on, the deeper that mine shaft got. It was crazy.
Unreal. But like I said, they're corrupt to the core, and for him to try to give us moral advice, you ever hop on, like.
Absolutely. That's all I have for news. I don't know if you have anything to add or anything you want to add or something like that. No, you all good?
No, well, congratulations to Shay Given. He got inducted into the FAI Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
So congratulations to him. Well worthy of it, especially being a goalkeeper. That's actually Sean Fogarty. I want to give him congratulations, Sean Fogarty. He was looking after the keepers for St. Pat's all season. He got a job in the Burnley Academy over in England. So just want to say congratulations to him and hope it works out for him.
Yeah, and we should have a shout out to James Keddy as well, who was the new Wexford manager, I believe, isn't it?
100%.
So shout out to James, an old schoolboy friend of mine and stuff like that. So I'll have to get him back on again.
Yeah, and you know yourself, because he's done it the hard way. You know, he's been through the leagues playing, and he's been assistant manager in Bray and Cabinteely and all these teams, and so fair play to him.
Yeah, and of course we have to mention Olivier Giroud, equaling Thierry Henry's record.
Yeah,
and looking like he's going to break it as well. He's
Mbappe was getting the ball and launching into the box after he scored. He was you could see he was dying to get it, but he'll definitely get it in this tournament, no doubt.
I noticed with Mbappe as well, he was having a few shots himself when he was blocked out as well, when he could have squared it as well,
Absolutely.
How did he miss that one under the bar, the one that was squared for Griezmann? I think it was Griezmann.
I've seen Roland Darragh miss a few of them and Lucan before, so I'm down on Pier Street and the Astro, but we'll say no more about that, Ron.
Shall we say we're all human? We're all human.
Yeah. And come here, can I just say, Giroud, what a handsome looking bastard he is.
Yeah.
Doesn't he look slick?
Yeah, absolutely. He's like a fine wine, isn't he? He doesn't age at all, you know what I mean?
No.
And he just knows where to be, doesn't he? He knows where to be. It looks like, for all intents and purposes, he's going to break Thierry Henry's record.
He will. Absolutely. And Henry's there with Belgium, isn't he? Is he still coach of Belgium? I think he used to be a coach under Martinez at Belgium, So, lads, you might be able to tell us in the comments. So, imagine he'd be at the tournament and Giroud breaks it and he's there.
Yeah, absolutely. He'd probably be the first guy to go over and congratulate him.
Yeah, well,
being an upstanding, honest player and all,
Yeah, I was just going to say that I'd be delighted when he breaks it because I still haven't forgiven him over what happened.
yeah. We won't upset Warren and the boys in the comments tonight, just in case. Warren, very sad news about David Johnson. Absolutely. Brilliant top guy he was and stuff like that, Right, let's get into these combined 11s. We're going to do 2 each. So we're going to do, the first one is going to be the injury one. And I just have to say before we drop these, lads, both these teams could easily win a World Cup, no problem. And I didn't converse with Mark on it at all, so it'll be interesting to go. So we'll start with the injured ones first.
Do you know what? I kind of mix it up a little bit. Not mix it up, but for my goalkeeper, I have the injured ones and I have the teams that hadn't qualified. So I didn't do players that were left out, but I kind of added my goalkeeper into that. So in goal, I put David De Gea.
Okay.
Obviously, he wasn't picked, but I just put him in this team. Obviously, listen, you might call me biased, but I think his form over the last few years for us has been phenomenal. He's kept us in so many games. Unbelievable shot stopper, and I'm not just talking about his hands, with the saves he makes with his feet and his legs are second to none. Obviously, when he came into Manchester United, he started off a bit iffy. His form wasn't great. He got arrested. No, not arrested. He got warned. He robbed some donuts out of Tesco in Manchester and stuff. So it seemed like nothing could go right for him at the time. But like I said, he's won the Matt Busby Award at the end of the season. I don't know how many times now. So yeah, I put De Gea in goal.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout. And he actually brought it up tonight in commentary during the Spain game that if you're keeping David De Gea out of the team with the form that he's in and stuff like that, you're obviously doing something right. I don't know. It seems to be something more, but I suppose you've reached the bottom of the barrel when you're robbing donuts out of Tesco's anyway, don't you? you're at an all-time low if that's where you're at and stuff.
Me and Rowan do it in the offbeat service, so that's it.
Give me your back 4 as well, and then I'll give you mine.
I've gone for 3 at the back.
Okay.
I've gone for 2 Chelsea players.
Of course.
So I've gone for one Reece James, who's probably one of the best right fullbacks in the world at the moment. Let's be fair. Defensively and going forward. In the league, I think Cancelo is a close second, but James is head and shoulders above anyone.
Very upset that he wasn't brought. Very upset that he wasn't brought. Felt he could have done a job outside of the group games. Very upset that he wasn't brought.
You have to feel like if his injury had taken place in the summer, where the break from the end of the season started the World Cup, he possibly would have been brought, but because you're literally going
so close.
What was it? Yeah, it just wasn't possible. On the other side, I have his Chelsea teammate Ben Chilwell. Again, his rise from Leicester to Chelsea and what he's done, and again going forward, scoring goals, assists, and defending. Listen, it's not a little dig at Trent, but not forgetting to defend at the same time. He has a perfect balance, like his fellow Chelsea teammate over the far side. So I've gone for James and Chilwell. This one, he's injured, but possibly if France go further on in the competition, he might play, but I'm not too sure. So I've gone for Varane and centre half.
Okay. Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah. So I've gone for
good choice.
De Gea in goal, James, Varane, and Chilwell.
Yeah, interesting. I went for a 4-3-3. So in goals I put Sommer, the guy off Switzerland. Who to me is an excellent goalkeeper, but doesn't look anything like a goalkeeper. He's kind of a bit short in stature and stuff like that now. But what a goalkeeper and what a shot stopper and stuff like that.
So good for you with them, because remember Campos from Mexico, 94 and all.
Absolutely.
He's only 2 foot nothing.
I think this guy's top drawer, especially in goals. I agreed with you either side. I had Reece James and I had Ben Chilwell as well. And then in the centre-backs position, I put Kempembe and I put beside him Wesley Fofana. So that was my back four with my goalkeeper. Give us your midfield.
You'll be happy with with one of them anyway. But in just playing in front of the centre half, I've gone for one N'Golo Kante.
Okay.
To clean up everything.
I've
gone for on the far side. I've gone for Neto. Obviously, he's missing now, and I've gone one of his teammates over the far side. I've gone for Jota.
Diego
Jota. He's one of those players I'd love to throw in my anytime goal scorers in the Premier League. You know, you always feel he has a goal in him, and he's so lively. So, gone for him. And also in midfield, I've gone for the German master himself, Marco Reus.
Yep, good shout. Interesting. I was torn on this midfield. I put together a 3-man midfield. And I wanted a blend there of kind of talent and creativity along with a bit of holding and stuff like that. So I agreed with you on Kante, but I needed a workhorse in there, and I went for on the other side Wijnaldum. Genie. Now I know he hadn't played
him very well,
but I know him well, and I know he'll always give you 110%. I could have put Thiago in there as well, stroke Thiago as well, because but Thiago wasn't injured, so he might make an appearance later, let's say. And in the middle of the park, I put in there, from a creativity point of view, a man that you won't be happy that I picked. And
I know. I didn't put him in. Yeah, I didn't put him in. I didn't put him in my team just for that reason. But listen, no arguing.
I just thought at international level, box to box, there's no one as good as him. Like at international level, he's just
on his day though. On his day when he chooses to be, he can be one of the best players in the world, but he doesn't do it enough, in my opinion.
I didn't let the Man United thing cloud me, because I know at international level he normally performs really, really well.
He does.
So that's why I picked him.
I have no time for him, to be honest with you. So that's why I didn't get my team.
Give us your front line.
Right, so the first lad I'm gonna say had, since he moved from Chelsea, he's gotten into a bit of form, but unfortunately he got injured. So I'm going for an old friend of yours, Timo Werner.
Okay.
So just but the other two boys will make up for it. The man, he's just there to run up and down. But the man beside him is Mr. Ballon d'Or this season, Karim Benzema.
Yeah,
I had to put him in there.
He's
had an unbelievable season with Real Madrid, but he's had an unbelievable few seasons with Real Madrid. Let's not forget, he's probably been deserving of the Ballon d'Or before now, but obviously others have pipped him, whether it's been for political reasons, yourself voting or whatever.
He'll finish off the chances that Timo doesn't. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. No, do you know what? Yeah, I put Timo there. He had a little bit of form before he got the injury. He scored a few goals and he put himself about. So, and on the left hand side, beside Benzema, I've put one man in that you're gonna know very, very well. An absolute workhorse, scores goals, gets up and down, and won the African Nations there last year. So I've gone for Sadio Mane.
Good show. You got 2 out of my 3.
Okay, I guess Werner's not in your team. So.
No, and I wouldn't say, I'm not even going to say I toyed with the thought of Timo Werner. He didn't even come into my reckoning. That's the truth.
I just wanted to get a thumbs up for me and Kelly. That's why I put him in there,
There you go. Yeah, I went with a front three, of course, but I went with Benzema slightly on the right, not up the middle. I went with Sadio Mane up the middle, and on the left, I went with, of course, Nkunku. I thought it was a great shot. Only got injured the other day, unfortunately, by Camavinga's clash with him and stuff like that. I thought that's a smashing front three. And Kunku, Sadio Mane, and Karim Benzema. So that was my team. I hope I'm clicking on the right one. Yeah, that's it. So that's my team.
You haven't given a spoiler away.
These players, just like the beer, didn't make it to the World Cup. So that's the background is the beer. But yeah, absolutely. That's a team that would frighten any team, I think, at World Cup at the moment. Absolutely exceptional team. So there you go. Right, give us your other one, so.
So we've gone for 3 at the back again. My goalkeeper first. I've gone for a goalkeeper who I've always been fond of. Last season, and in the qualifiers, he probably wasn't in his best form, but I still think he's an unbelievable goalkeeper. I've gone for Donnarumma in goal.
I'd like to say that's a great shout.
Like I said,
no argument here.
Yeah. Like I said, his form wasn't too good last season, but we know he's a better keeper than that, so we have gone for him in goal. I've gone for 3 at the back. I've gone for 1. I'm probably a little bit biased for 1. I'll get him out of the way early, but I think in the right team and on his day, he can be a really, really good defender. I just think when he's playing with Harry Maguire, he's not. So I've gone for 1 Victor Lindelof at the back there as well.
Man, the options you had here, and this is who you're going for. You're crazy.
I'm a bit biased, but I've gone for Bonucci as well. Obviously, he speaks for himself.
Another great shout.
But listen, he speaks for himself. When you think of it, you could have had an Italian 11, really, but I kind of wanted to mix it up a little bit. Listen, as a football fan, the presence in the World Cup is missed, isn't it? When you think of it, what they bring. You see them arriving in their sharp suits, and they wear like a polo underneath or a t-shirt with a suit jacket, and just a swab about them. You miss it from the World Cup. So,
fresh from that suit fitting in best menswear, yeah.
Hey, and Jervis, yeah.
Love it.
I'll finish with Wezzo Bonucci. I'll finish with Wezzo here, and I'll get on to you then, But and my last defender is one that you would know very well, and he's a lad that I really, really like as a fullback. Again, the last season or so, his form has dipped from his standard. He's still playing really good, but his form from the standard that everyone is used to and what you're used to has dropped a little bit. So I've gone for 1 Andrew Robertson as well in my back line.
Excellent. Nice. I'll give you I went to 4-3-3 again. Well, I seem to like that 4-3-3, and I don't.
Is that what you used to do in Greystones? Is it?
No, Greystones. What I used to go was 8-1-1. I had Donnarumma and nets. Great choice. Back 4, I had Andy Robinson and Bonucci in there. So beside Bonucci, I had Tomori. He was. I think he should be there. I think it's shocking he's not there. And the other one I went there at right back then, I went for Alaba. Smashing right back. So I went for him. So that's my back 4.
We know all too well about him.
Yeah, Robertson, Bonucci, Tomori, and Alaba.
Nice one.
With Donnarumma and nets. Gives your midfield.
Midfield, I've gone for a little feisty player first. Chilean international. I've gone for Vidal.
Okay.
I just thought, and then I've gone for a man we know well from watching the Premier League. Again, I like him as a player. His form has been kind of in and out. Obviously, with Nigeria not qualifying, he's not there, so I've gone for Ndidi.
Okay.
As well, on one side, I'm looking at a man who seems to come on a lot for Man City. And miss penalty. I don't know. He comes on. He's a great player. Listen, we've seen him do it for Leicester City. He probably isn't getting the game time he wants now with the amount of players that Pep has at his disposable. So I'm going for Rehab Mahrez in my midfield. Algeria. When was the last time Algeria qualified for a major tournament? Can you remember?
Were they at the last one? No.
Were they? No, I know African nations is a, but I'm just talking like.
No, were they not at the last World Cup?
They could have been.
I'm not too sure. Let us know in the comments if anyone knows or in the chat. But I thought I remember the talk of Riyad Mahrez, I think, at the last one. I'm not too sure though. Maybe I'm wrong.
Could have been. And my last midfielder is a Colombian, and you might know him because I don't know. You might know Luis Diaz, Mr. Luis Diaz. Yeah, had to have him in there. I love when he's playing for you. He really adds something different. You know, like, listen, when you're Liverpool or you're someone watching Liverpool, there's always talk about Salah. You know, there was always talk about Mane, even Bobby Firmino. Listen, I love watching him, but Diaz, he's something special, man, isn't he? He's something special. Absolutely. He can make something out of absolutely nothing, and he can score crackers as well. I think him and Carvalho are the future of Liverpool. I think they really are. I think Carvalho needs more game time to build his confidence up, but he's going to be a cracking player as well. So I have Luis Diaz in there.
Yeah, I had it was an interesting one. I think there was an article today on Luis Diaz, and he was talking about how one of his dreams would be to play for one of the big teams in Spain or something like that, which I'm sure Liverpool fans wouldn't have liked to hear.
No,
it's always the same old.
The
only one who wants to win at our shit team. I don't know. I think that's harsh. You're gonna see Charles Darwin tomorrow light up the World Cup. I have him for the Golden Boot, and I have Uruguay each way.
Have you?
Yeah. I didn't put my boy's hat on here now. I could have put Thiago in here, and I could have put Luis Diaz in here and stuff like that, but I went the other way. Maybe I went looking for a midfield that I'd love to have rather than a midfield that I already have. So I went in the middle. Verratti. I put Verratti in there. You have to have that kind of spine up there, don't you?
Yeah,
and on one side, a man that's featured heavily in your beat the bookie picks every so often, the little Paraguayan himself who's on form at the moment, Almiron. They put in there on the right hand side, and on the left hand side, a man I wish Liverpool would sign, one Nicola Barella. So that's my midfield there. So you got the strength and holding of Verratti, you got the guile of Nicola Barella, and then you've got the kind of shithousery, I would say, of Almiron. So a nice little blend there in midfield. He's good. He's good. Yeah. Newcastle are doing things at the moment.
Jack Grealish is kicking himself that the comment he made at the end of last season about him.
Yeah, can't wait. He's going to be unreal. Absolutely, Rowan. I can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be electric. Right, give us your front line.
I've gone for 3 up top. I think we might be a 2 out of 3 possibly here. We could be matching, I'd say.
I'd be surprised if we don't have 3. If you haven't put your boy's hat on now, I think we could have 3.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I've gone for this one is the one I don't think we're going to be matching.
Well, keep that. Okay, I was going to say keep that to last. Yeah, I was going to say keep that to last. But come on, anyway, it's all right. Come on.
I'm going for Isaac. You know, I've seen him play for Newcastle, and before the move, I've seen him as well. You know, you're always guaranteed goals with him, and obviously when he came in, he got the injury for Newcastle, and he's coming back into, or you'd like to see him coming back into it in the new year, and obviously with Callum Wilson being on form as well, it'd be interesting to see the two of them fit at the same time. What will happen? So I've gone for him.
Now, before you move on and give me the others, did you have a look at all at the front men that are available in this? Whole list, and you went for Alexander Isaac.
No, but you know what? I was going to put Zlatan in there for the crack with my hat on. You know, even though he's 40, I would have still had him up there. You know, no, but you know what it is? Yeah, no, but you know what it is? It's mad. I've kept an eye on him, because listen, I know what we said before. You know, the color of his skin. He's Swedish. You know, he stands out a little bit. I'm not trying to, not in a bad way.
Yeah,
but I've always kept an eye on him, and I've had a soft spot for him, and I've done him a few times in bets and stuff like that. So yeah, I threw him in there. There's other names which I know you're going to mention as well, but I just put him in there. You know me, I always like to show.
No. He's a very, very good player. But to be honest, I think looking at the names that are available to you, he wouldn't even make my bench. If I was
Well,
doing
here,
the bench
listen,
as well, he wouldn't make my bench.
this could be my little Sam Maximum moment. Having his teammate in there, you know.
We could have found a new one.
Yeah,
This could be
but,
your Alexander Isaac moment.
Yeah. But I think the next two are kind of self-explanatory, aren't they? One is the Egyptian king himself, Mo Salah. You know, it's times like this and tournaments like this when he's not playing that you feel fans from outside of the Premier League are missing out on watching him. You know, they'd have a chance to see him play for his country and play against these other teams, and it's just a shame that he can't be there. You know, he's still phenomenal. On his day, the best player in the world. What he can do with a ball at his feet, and to think Chelsea let him go all those years ago, and he came back to use, and he's probably up there one of the best the Premier League has ever seen, really, isn't he?
Yeah, and we're showing great form prior to the break as well. Yeah, we're showing great form. He was showing his form again prior to the break as well. So hopefully he'll come back refreshed.
Remember last season, coach? Remember the goal against Watford and his goal against City in Anfield and stuff like that. You know, he's just
both very similar goals.
Absolutely. But like we'll talk about the next guy now and the goals he scores, but Salah scores way more different goals than the next man I'm going to mention. The next man is more like, you know, your Gary Lineker, get Fox in the box, you know, that type of way. So, but yeah, listen, my next player has to be the man on fire at the moment, the man that's probably captain of every fancy football team in the world, and it's one Erling Haaland.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show.
Yeah, I couldn't have a team like that and not have him in it, and it was so funny how Ireland and Norway, the FAI, were saying Haaland's coming to town, and he wasn't even brought over.
He was on the ticket, but he wasn't at the match.
Yeah.
No surprise.
Listen, you probably have more of a chance to see him going playing for Cavan, but listen, I have to have him in there. He's on fire. He's a robot. But listen, like I said, Salah scores different goals than him. You always expect Haaland to be in the box waiting for that kind of cross in or the keeper to parry it, and you know he'll pounce on it. Where Salah is he's magic with the ball at his feet, in my opinion.
Yeah, I went for a front three as well, and of course I matched two of them. So I had Salah on the right and Haaland up the middle. But on the left,
you didn't have Isaac, no?
No. And to the point where I never even thought of him. I don't know whether they were listing these lists alphabetically or what the story was. I'm not too sure. That you picking Alexander Isaac is kind of like the shock that I hear when McAllister is Argentinian. You know, it's that kind of shock, really. You know,
is he not Gary's cousin? No,
no. I wish. No, but on the left, I picked one Chiesa. Super player for Italy and stuff like that.
Like I said, we could have had 11 Italians because you could have picked the whole 11 of Italians. You know.
Oh yeah, you could have put Chiellini in with Bonucci and everything and all if you had wanted. Yeah, absolutely. But I thought that front line of Chiesa, his intricate kind of skill and play and stuff like that, but the power of Haaland up the middle and the finesse and the skill of Salah. A lot of people on social media, and a lot of people, content creators, were telling me earlier in the season how Salah was dusted and he can't dribble and all this kind of thing. I was quite shocked to hear that, to be honest. They're eating their words now, of course. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But that was my team. I'll run through it again. Donnarumma, Robertson, Bonucci, Tomori, Alaba, midfield, Almiron, Verratti, and Nicola Barella, and then Salah, Haaland, and Chiesa. A team fitting of lifting a World Cup, no doubt about it. But yeah, absolutely. That was how did you find doing it? Interesting.
Yeah, it was good. I sat down today, as you know, busy last few days with boxes all over the house and this, that, and the other. But I had a spare hour or so to myself earlier. I sat down, had a cup of tea, and sat down. But you look at some of the teams that weren't, like, you know, even in Colombia, you could have had James in there. You know, there's obviously, if you're not a United fan, you could have had Sanchez in there. If you bit of form over in France now, but it was good. But like I said, you look at the likes of Salah and Haaland, and you're looking going, they should be playing at a tournament like the World Cup, shouldn't they? Yeah. The biggest platform in the world.
I was questioning myself last night because I did my teams yesterday, and I was watching the French game, and I seen Fofana came on, and I went, hang on a minute, see, not injured, and I had to check it's Yusuf Fofana that came on.
Yeah.
How many of these Fofanas does this French team have and stuff like that? No.
Chelsea probably have them all now next year.
It was mad, like, but it was, some of the names that were there. And as you said, of course, the big one is Italy sticking out that aren't at the tournament and stuff like that. Yeah. As you said, that beautiful blue kid and the dapperness of them arriving at the stadium and stuff like that. And
don't forget, we could have had a team with Gary Brains.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, with Italy as well, not a federation and a team that would like being told what to do. So we could have created some interest there if Italy were over in Qatar, They wouldn't have taken kindly to FIFA and stuff like that, telling them what to do in terms of armbands and various stuff like that. No. Let's close it out then. Thoughts so far on the World Cup? What you think so far? The officiating on the VAR is slick, isn't it? Slick.
It is, and it's you're looking at the different substitutions that can be made is adding up to all the minutes that has been added on. I don't think we've ever seen a tournament or games in general with the amount of added on time as there is. I think in the English game it wasn't there 26. Was it 14 or 12 in the first and 14 in the second? Now, obviously with the head injury and stuff like that, but with the amount of substitutions, you're looking at 30 seconds each substitution, and it's all adding on. And
they said they're allowing time and all for free kicks and throw-ins and kick-outs and everything and all. Yeah. Would you see the Premier League going the same route eventually?
I don't, like, in theory you think, but like there's a lot the Premier League fans give out about the length of time it takes for a VAR decision to be made, and they get frustrated with the minutes added on at the end. So I don't know if it would go down well with Premier League fans, if I'm being completely honest. But it's certainly it's good to see something different. Chiellini was trying to introduce this to stop time wasting, and that will be added on, and it's almost like a punishment for the team that are time wasting and stuff like that as well. So it'd be interesting to see what happens, and how the rest of the tournament unfolds like that. But yeah, so far, listen, the officiating I think has been fairly good. All right, you've seen there's usually 7 or 8 people in the VAR room, and I've said this before. It varies from the Premier League where there's only one VAR official in the booth at Stockley Park. So it just shows you, and you see the images. The camera just before kickoff usually flashes onto the VAR room. There's 7 or 8 of them sitting down, and then there's one lad behind
really
them.
Impressive, doesn't it? Looks really impressive.
Absolutely.
Like and then even when they're telling the ref to go look at the screen and stuff like that, it just seems so much quicker and so much organised.
It is, like I said, it's like the Euros last year. I've said this on this show umpteen times. When there's more in the VAR, you've got lads on specific areas of the game on the field of play. One lad looking off the offsides, one lad looking at the goal decisions, one lad looking at potential red cards. And I think it's much better than having one person in charge where it's just one opinion,
Yeah, absolutely. What have you made so far then on the tournament and stuff like that? I've been giving my predictions every morning and stuff like that, and it's been I say
some of them have been wrong.
Yeah, 1 or 2 now. I've gotten some of the results right, but some of the predictions now. I fully expected Argentina to pump Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So one of my predictions yesterday was Argentina 6, Saudi Arabia 0. And if you look at the 3 goals that were disallowed and stuff like that, it could have been
different. Yeah, it could have been different.
But I put it up on TikTok as well, and a couple of these Monday morning quarterbacks joined me on TikTok to let me know, I was saying it was going to be the Messi show and all this kind of thing, and they were going some Messi show and stuff like that, and I had to drop a little love heart on each of their comments, and then I went back and I said, lads, when you get a chance, make sure you screenshot me all your Saudi Arabia winning dockets and stuff like that. It's easy to judge predictions after the fact. It's a lot harder when you're just putting them out there. I have to say, I do be concentrating on driving as well. They are drive time predictions as well. So
I was seeing the one today and stuff like that. Very good, very good.
Yeah.
But no, it is. Listen, you would have expected Spain to beat Costa Rica there today. I don't think you would have expected to beat them 7-0. Again, I expected England to be Iran the other day. I thought Iran possibly would have made it more difficult than it was. 6-2. I think I was literally, I said it to one of the lads. I said, it wouldn't surprise you if it was 1-0 Harry Kane penalty or something like that, but they were just free flowing. Iran looked tired after about 25 minutes, didn't they?
Bellingham looked very impressive, didn't he?
He's on another level. I spoke to you about this before. They were talking about 100 million in January. I think that you could double that if I'm being honest with you, if he has a good tournament, you know.
Yeah, it's scary.
And he's only 19.
He needs to be careful. He might end up pricing himself out of a move and have to stay in the Bundesliga.
He could do. We could do.
Absolutely.
But no, listen, it's we like we talked about earlier. I don't agree with what's going on there beforehand and what's going on at the minute in the country and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when you're sitting at home and it's either watching the World Cup or watching Luke swimming, what are you gonna do? You know.
But, for our Liverpool fans, Taki Minamino came on today, totally changed the game against Germany.
And Southampton fans as well, because don't forget that long move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, to me, it's a bit like the Champions League. I think you pay more attention as the tournament goes on. You know, when it gets to the knockout stages, when it gets more interesting. You know, if you miss a game during the day, it's going to like you catch up on the highlights. But when it gets out to the knockout stages, you want to be there watching the games live and stuff like that. So, I'm looking forward to it. I don't agree with what's going on and stuff like that. But obviously, I'm still going to watch it and see what's happening as well at the same time. You know.
Yeah, a lot of the international teams to me so far, especially the ones we expect to be really good, they look kind of disjointed and rusty, don't they? Look, look at that Belgium side tonight. You know, really struggling even to string passes together and stuff like that. Yet, plenty of talent on the side and stuff like that. Yeah, but really struggle.
When you look at it as well, especially for some of the European teams outside the Premier League, like these are all used to kind of winding down now and going into a winter break. Yeah. Where now that they're playing on, and maybe some of them aren't used to it, and not only physically but mentally they're not used to it. Mentally they're probably checked out there a week or two ago, but it's interesting to see. Obviously, hopefully this is the first and last time we ever have a Winter World Cup, because it's just weird time of the year, like when you're putting up the Christmas tree and you've got the World Cup on in the background. There's something not right there, you know. But I think I'm looking forward to seeing Brazil play. I think they're playing tomorrow, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, they're playing tomorrow. Uruguay are playing tomorrow as well. It's a great day tomorrow for football, actually.
Cavani, Suarez, and Darwin.
Yeah, who was your pick? Who was your pick to go all the way?
At the start of the tournament, I do at every start of every tournament, I always go for Brazil. Okay. And I'm sticking with that. I think Germany, and now listen, forget about the result today. They always know how to grind out results in these tournaments when needs be. So they'll be thereabouts. France will be as well. Spain, obviously. Oh, listen, I know we can slag and all, but you can't really write off England, can you, after the last two tournaments that they've had? You know, getting to the semi-final of the last World Cup, getting to the final of the Euros. It's just how they can doubt, the media can doubt them and get into their heads. That's the only thing. So
I think as Darren has said on the shows before, from the midfield forward, everything is all good. Yeah. He says where he gets worried is that centre back pairing would worry him a lot, you know.
Absolutely, like Maguire looked exactly like Maguire looked decent the other day, but he wasn't troubled by the Iranian centre forward that plays in Portugal. I can't remember his name. He wasn't really tested by him. I like Kieran Trippier and Shaw. You know, either side, I think they're very good. But like you said, they have struggled with the centre half pairings like Maguire. You've got the likes of Stones there and stuff like that. I don't know. There's something, and don't forget Pickford. Pickford has loads of mistakes in him, doesn't he? I know he's having a decent season with Everton, but he just always seems to have a mistake in him. So, you know,
he got caught in possession. He got caught in possession the other day again as well. Didn't he? Got away,
and obviously giving away the penalty in the 90-odd minute or whatever it was. But I think, listen, they'll be thereabouts. But yeah, Brazil is my prediction.
Brazil's a pick. Interesting.
Who are you going for yourself, Gus?
I went for. Do you know something? I'd love to see an Argentinian-Portugal final, Ronaldo versus Messi. One last swan song.
Ronaldo versus Martinez at the back then as well.
Yeah, that'd be tasty, wouldn't it? Assuming Argentina play him, Darren was saying to me, how is he not playing? Otamendi playing before Lissandro was crazy.
Joke.
I think.
Absolute joke.
But I just think the spectacle would be cool, and I suppose I suppose as romantic football fans we are, I suppose Messi to win a World Cup would probably be something special, wouldn't it? But
it could, and what possibly is his last World Cup as well, isn't it?
Possibly, I would say, yeah. But who knows? Uruguay, I'd like to see do well. I'm all in on Darwin and stuff like that. You know, he was playing well before the breakup as well. So I'd like to see Uruguay do something. They have some serious players there. Darwin's there, as you said, Suarez, Cavani, Valverde's there as well. You know, there's some decent talent there, you know. So be interesting to see how it goes tomorrow. But yeah, you can't go wrong with Brazil or Argentina, really, can you, in your picks anyway? So even though there was a bit of a slight shock and stuff like that, but it'd be interesting to see how it pans out. We watch it.
100%.
I think as it goes along, we might get a bit more excited about the football, and for a few weeks we might be able to park the other issues and then come back to them maybe at the end of it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like the Champions League in the group stages. You're not really bothered about. You look at the results. You don't really watch the football as intently as you would do, say, in the knockout stages, you know, the last 16 and to the final. So I reckon it's going to be like that for this as well, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. Well, as always, pleasure having you on.
Thanks very much, because I was just going to say to you, the lads in the comments, I was thinking maybe next week we could have a look back at Ireland's adventures in the World Cup from 1990 and onwards. You know, that's a way we could look back at some of the games and what happened as well, you know. And I might have a special guest up my sleeve as well if you fancy doing that.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, we did it on Warren's channel there last week. We did a United Ireland 11 between the North and the South. An all-time one, and it was really good. Generated some good debate and all, but we got talking about Pat Rice and Pat Jennings and all this kind of thing. So it was
Pat Rice,
one
of the best assistant managers Arsenal have had over the years. Him and Arsene Wenger were like, you know, Batman and Robin there. But another thing, sorry, because go ahead.
No, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know if you caught it, but obviously last Monday there was a program on about Saipan, and if you enjoyed that, go on to the upper tier channel, and myself and Niall done a video about Saipan there. So it was a good topic to chat on. So if you enjoyed the documentary,
I'll share the episode again tomorrow on our socials.
Just because it'd be fresh in the mind, because it was a good documentary there the other night. So
Warren will be able to tell you as well. We were on doing that United Ireland show, and we'd plenty of Arsenal fans on doing it. Del Boy was on, and Kyle Gunnar Walsh was on as well. And yours truly was the only one who picked Pat Rice at right back. Putting it out there. So the boys are shocked, and then they were scribbling. They were changing their teams very quickly. So it was good fun.
Did any of the Arsenal lads have Noel Quinn up front? Being the next
I'm not sure. I think one had him up front, and he made an appearance on everyone's bench. I think most people had him on the bench and stuff like that. Yeah, but it was good. It was a great show.
Yeah, no, because Arsenal have had a decent connection with the Irish over the years. You know, David, like we mentioned, O'Leary, Quinn, Brady. Brady. Even Stephen Bradley started off there. He was going to be one of the best players, and even Anthony Stokes got a run out. He was on the bench for Dennis Bergkamp's testimonial.
Yeah,
it's madness.
Yeah, the boys actually, Del Boy did a great show the other day on Dennis Bergkamp as well. It was really cool. Himself and Warren were doing it. It was really good to hear it and stuff like that.
Check it out. I must actually watch that now tomorrow.
I mentioned that remember the great Newcastle goal? Remember when he just put everyone on their arse? Yeah, he was class. As always, if you're in the chat or the comments, drop a like on the way out. We really appreciate it. If you could subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and hit that bell notification. We will be back probably over the weekend with another show or two. Probably a couple of solos I'll do anyway. And as Marky said, we'll take a look back next week at Ireland's adventures in the World Cup and stuff like that. We'll talk about some of the crazy stuff and the mad stuff that went on. And again, if you want to check out our show on Saipan, it was a brilliant show, one of our most viewed shows actually. And what I'll do is I'll reshare that show out on our socials tomorrow and stuff like that, and see if people enjoy it. Until next time, folks, a pleasure as always. Cheers.